You can be surrounded by people and still feel completely invisible. In fact, sometimes the loneliest moments don't happen in an empty room. They happen at a crowded party, at a dinner table with family, right next to someone you love, lying in the dark, wondering why you feel so far away from everything. So here's the real question. If loneliness isn't simply about being alone, then what is it actually trying to tell us? Most people assume loneliness is a sign that something is missing, that you need more friends, a better relationship, more texts, more invites, more presence. And on the surface, that makes sense. But here's what I've come to realize after watching this pattern play out in so many lives, including my own. Loneliness isn't a lack of people. It's a lack of being understood. You can be in a room with 100 people who like you, but if none of them truly see the version of you that lives beneath the surface, you will still feel that familiar hollow ache. And worse, you'll start to believe there's something wrong with you for feeling it. So you try harder, you laugh louder, you say yes to every plan, you post more, you perform connection instead of actually feeling it. And that performance, that's the quiet tragedy of modern loneliness. Because the more you pretend, the less anyone can reach you. Let me take you somewhere uncomfortable for a moment. Think about the last time you really wanted to tell someone something vulnerable. Not a complaint, not a funny story, something real. Maybe a fear you've never said out loud, a shame you carry, a dream that feels embarrassing to admit. What stopped you? For most of us, it's not that nobody was there. It's that we didn't trust that they would get it. And that lack of trust isn't always about them. Sometimes it's about us. We've learned, somewhere along the way, that our inner world is too much, too heavy, too weird, too sensitive. So we hide it. And then we wonder why we feel alone while smiling in a crowd. But here's the twist. The psychology of loneliness has a secret, and it's one that most people never consider. Loneliness isn't just an emotion you feel when you're disconnected from others. It's also an emotion you feel when you're disconnected from yourself. Think about it. How can anyone truly see you if you don't even know what you feel? How can you long for closeness if you've spent years distracting yourself from your own inner voice? Loneliness, in that sense, is not a failure of your relationships. It's a signal that you've drifted away from your own emotional reality. And no amount of company can fix that, because the person you need to meet first is you. This explains something that often confuses people. Why do so many individuals feel lonelier after scrolling through social media? After watching highlight reels of friends having fun? After seeing everyone else's connection on display? It's not jealousy. It's comparison, yes, but deeper than that. Social media shows you what connection looks like without showing you what connection feels like. You see the group photo, not the conversation. You see the couple, not the silence between them. You see the party, not the person standing in the corner feeling just as lost as you. And your brain starts to believe that everyone else has found something you haven't, that you are uniquely alone in your loneliness, which is ironically the most universal feeling of all. Let me say something that might surprise you. Loneliness is not a weakness. It's a navigation system. Just like physical pain tells you to pull your hand away from a flame, loneliness tells you that something in your relational world needs attention, not panic, not desperation, attention. The problem is, most people respond to loneliness by reaching for anything that offers relief. A situationship that doesn't respect them, a friendship that drains them, a job that fills every waking hour, so they don't have to sit with the silence. And these things work, temporarily, but they also make the original problem worse. Because now, on top of feeling alone, you also feel ashamed for needing people, for feeling too much, for not being okay on your own. So what's the way out? Here's what I've learned. The cure for loneliness is not more people, it's depth. One conversation where you say something real and the other person actually listens. One relationship where you don't have to perform or explain yourself constantly. One moment where you feel seen, not because you're interesting, but because you're honest. That's what the psychology of loneliness actually points toward. Not quantity, quality, not audience, witness. And the strange thing is, when you stop trying to escape loneliness and start listening to what it's asking for, it begins to loosen its grip. Because loneliness isn't your enemy. It's the part of you that still believes in real connection, the part that hasn't given up, the part that knows, even after all the disappointments, that being known is worth the risk. So tonight, instead of scrolling, instead of staying busy, instead of waiting for someone to reach out first, try something small. Write down one thing you're actually feeling, not what you think you should feel, the truth. And then, when you're ready, share one sentence of it with someone who might understand. Not the whole story, just a crack of light. See what happens. If this video made you feel a little less strange for feeling lonely, consider subscribing. Thoughtic is for people who want to understand what lives beneath the surface of their own minds. And if this hit something real for you, drop a comment. Tell me when you've felt most alone in a crowd, or what you wish someone understood about you right now. Sometimes naming the loneliness is the first step back to yourself. And maybe you were never as alone as you thought.